but she does this. She grabs it and she goes like this in front of the camera, and she tries to be sneaky and put it behind. I was like, you just literally showed the entire. So I just grabbed it. I was like,
No, I just,
is that what you wanted?
I just went like this. I gave it to him like that, like because I thought it was gonna start dripping down his lips or something. So I'm like, oh my god, no.
Wow, I was sweating that, just dripping. Huh?
Profusely.
Yeah. Just
I
a big
can
old
see
wet
it.
stain right here on my sweater. Yeah.
You need to do the little blur marks on him.
Did he go for a jog? No, it's his lip. His lip's sweating right now. Yeah, his upper lip is sweating right now. That's what it is. Wow. I gotta go get Botox apparently.
Wow. Yeah, you know.
That stops sweating, right?
Does it?
Yeah,
I don't
apparently,
know.
People,
I know it stops movement.
So I watched a documentary. This guy couldn't stop sweating from his armpits, like a disorder.
Oh,
Got
you're
Botox
right.
and
You're
it blocked
right.
it. Yeah.
I have heard that. You're right.
Yep,
Even
yep.
for migraines, right?
I don't.
Oh.
Yeah. I thought it just made you like this.
Look excited.
No, I'm happy. You're supposed to say I'm happy. You
I
can't
really
move.
am. I'm smiling.
I'm
too.
mad.
Yeah.
It's the same expression.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
man.
But we're glad that you made it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank you,
much.
thank
You
you.
got ready and you look beautiful.
Oh,
and
thank you.
so excited to bring you on because there's just so much about you that I know the community already knows, but it's just exciting to have somebody who's just so enthusiastic about city, adventures and doing all that great stuff. So with that said, we just want to welcome everybody to our Let's Connect Now 6th episode today. So I'm here with my co-host, Frank Avina. I also have my other co-host, Katrina, behind the scenes. Yeah, behind the scenes. And we're actually here. We're really, really excited to have somebody who's made a huge impact in our city. And it's Lorena. Welcome to our Let's Connect episode.
you.
Thank you so much for agreeing to be here today. I know when I met you, I already knew about you because I kept seeing you on Instagram. And I thought, oh, she seems very interesting and she's a very busy girl. But, I don't know, I just kind of left it at that. And then all of a sudden, I get to meet you for the first time. And you were just so friendly, so inviting. And I was like, wow, that's when I actually invited you and I told you about this new journey that we were starting. And you said, yeah, DM me and come on. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. My name is Lorena, and I, first and foremost, I'm a mother. I'm a proud mother of 2 boys.
That's great.
And I'm a wife as well. And those are the titles that I hold the dearest in my heart. And I'm also a full-time student. I'm studying legal studies at the University of Laverne. And then what I do like to focus on is my blog. I have my Instagram, and I feel like I like to inspire other families that have kids, or maybe even if you don't have kids, to kind of take advantage of what's sometimes right in front of you, sometimes a little further out. And we have such a fun time doing that. Like with my family, I feel like it feels so wonderful to have a platform to be able to encourage others to do as well.
Well, that's so awesome. And yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I can understand it now because, when you have small kids, you're always thinking, okay, what are we going to do this weekend? You're always thinking. And you doing that, it almost seems like you're just like it's out of impulse, or like you don't even think about it. You're just like, you just do it.
That's actually a good thing that you brought up, because I feel like when I try to plan things sometimes, I can get so overwhelmed, because sometimes I'm like, I have a baby shower and I have this and I was invited to this event, and sometimes I get so overwhelmed, like I don't want to do any of it. I just want to stay home and kind of go under my covers.
Yes.
So I try not to think about it too much, and I'm like, you know what, whatever I can get done today, or whatever kind of feels right, I'll do. And so a lot of times I don't plan as much. I'm like, this is what I can do, and we'll see what we can do, because I have kids and it doesn't always go as planned.
Yeah.
So I think that's how I've learned to balance things out. Just don't be so hard on myself, because I used to be like, oh my God, but it's the baby shower and they came to mine and I have to go, and oh my God, this event.
I was the same way.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was the same way. And I don't know if I really ever did as much as you have done in this, in this time that I've just been following you. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's done what I've done in a lifetime. My kids are all grown up now. I know Frank has, 3 small children. And what's your experience like?
Well, they're not allowed to see your Instagram because I'm going to look like a bad parent. Right? There are pictures at Burger King, King Taco.
How old are your kids?
Yeah. So I got a 15-year-old,
Nice.
sophomore in high school. I got a 6-year-old, soon to be 7 on Christmas Eve. She turned 7, and then I got a
sweet.
5-year-old, soon to be 6 in June.
Fun ages.
Yeah, all over the place. I got a kid that won't leave his room. I got 2 kids that won't leave me alone. So, but it's funny you say that about not planning, right? So some of my worst and most stressful vacations that were supposed to be fun were ones packed with itinerary.
Yeah.
Like literally, like, where we had everything planned because you're right, you're just stressed out. I got to get here. I got to be here on time. We can't sleep in. We got to wake up at 6 in the morning. So, no, I'm glad to hear it because now when I go places, kind of like you, if you say, hey, what do you want to do today? Let's go to the beach. What do you want to do at the beach? We'll figure it out when we get there.
And you just pick it up. You just go to the refrigerator, wherever you have, and just pack it and just go.
And I'm not going to say I don't do our itineraries. I do. I have, like, from the moment, like, when we go on vacations especially, I have, like, a full thing. But I give myself the opportunity to not do it if we don't have to. Like, if it's not feeling right. You know what I mean?
You're not leaving deposits.
No. No. Because a lot of times when we're out, like, you know, we usually do this road trip with my sister. We did it, you know, 4 years in a row, I think, pre-pandemic. So it kind of got put on pause these last 2 years. But where we took road trips, like we would fly out somewhere. And, you know, we're used to being in California where you drive and you're still in California 5 hours later.
Yeah.
You know, but when you're like on the East Coast or even down south, you know, you're driving and in like 2 hours you're in another state and in an hour you're in another state. Yep. So we kind of wanted to like feel like we're going all over the U.S. And so like we'll fly over to Colorado and do a quick little, you know, hit four states. Awesome. And so we did kind of have to be like, okay, well, if we want to see this, we have to get up. That's on you if you don't. And so sometimes my sister's like, no, we're sitting this one out. We'll catch up with you guys here. And we're like, okay, we're going to go. So again, I just kind of, I feed off my kids and their mood, and if they're down for it, which a lot of times I think they're just used to the life already, so they're like, okay, let's go. I'm like, there's gonna be dinosaurs.
Take advantage right now that they're young, because trust me, once they hit the teenage years, it's gonna be hard to get them out of the house. Yeah, it really, really is gonna be hard.
I'm already kind of seeing that with my 12-year-old because he wants to be at home with his video games because now that they can play with their friends at home, you know. So it's like, well, I'm getting on this game and 5 of us joined. So do I have to go now? I'm like, yes.
I told my son, I said, get out of your room and go be social. He goes, I am, Dad. There's 20 people in this chat room. I'm like, oh.
Yes.
I'm like, how old are those 20? First of all, I need to see their virtual IDs. Right? I got to figure it out first. But yeah, no, I completely understand it. When they hit that 15-year-old age, with the tough part, right? This is what takes me away from taking them away from that video game part is that, you know, they missed a lot of school.
Yes.
So they missed a huge chunk of their friend's life. So that was the way they communicated. And so that kind of bled over. And
I think you allowed it more. Yeah. You allowed it more during that time.
Because I mean, we couldn't go anywhere. Yeah. And so it's like, I'm just going to like, okay, all day arts and crafts, like it gets old as well. You know, I try to do as much as we could at home, but then it's like, my oldest is really social. He's more like me, and my youngest is like a little bit more like my husband, which they're not as social. But so the oldest one is like, okay, you need to get off screen time. He's like, but then I feel guilty because that's his time to like be social and be interactive with his friends because he was so like dependent on that for his. Like I kind of see like his light kind of started to dwindle because he was so used to having those conversations and being, you know, the friendly guy. And so I see it coming back again, which makes me feel good.
Aren't you surprised though that, you know, they were doing school during, you know, the pandemic. They were doing school on the computer, on their iPads, whatever. And then all of a sudden they would jump over to video games. Yeah. And you would think they're tired.
Yeah,
like, aren't your eyes tired? Or like, aren't you tired? No, they could go forever if you allow them.
Oh yeah.
So you taking them out and making the, getting yourself ready and, you know, and actually, you know, doing something on impulse or maybe something that you planned previously and you said, I'm not going to let this go. This sounds like fun.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Thank you.
It's a good thing. And I'm like, give props to your husband.
Thank you.
Because for him to actually go with you, that's pretty awesome.
You know what? We have, like, I think I've learned because I've been married for 13 years now. I think I've learned to just be okay with him not wanting to come sometimes. And I think that was a struggle that we had in our marriage and our relationship, to be honest, at the beginning where it was like, I wanted him to be like everywhere with me. Yes. And then once you stop wanting, or like once you like, whatever, come or don't, now he wants to go everywhere with me. So
1 second. Can you look at that mic and tell my wife exactly what you just said right now?
You know, honestly though, what is it about you guys? What is it about you guys that like once it's like we've kind of let go of that, now you want to come?
Yeah, same thing with me, like with this job, you know, my husband's, you know, I used to want him to be there just for support, even if he's just looking, right? And now it's like, oh, you're having an event? Oh, okay, well then, just get home safe. And I'm like, you're not going? He's not interested anymore. I think he just kind of gets tired, and I give him, I respect him if that's not his thing, and that's okay too, you know? So, but tell me, who films you or who does your videos and all that?
So a lot of times it's him. Sometimes we'll take like.
That's why you need him.
Yeah, I'm like, but the good thing is my kids are getting older, so now I'm like, Aiden. I am. Now I'm like, sometimes my kid is a little more patient than him because sometimes he's like, I already got it or blah, blah.
Yeah, because I saw your son at the one event here taking your pictures, but you model so well. And you're like, you know, and he's just like,
go do it again. And I'm his mom, so he's like, I better do well, or else I'm not gonna get my time.
That's
when
your youngest, right?
No, he's my oldest.
Oh, that's your oldest.
Yeah. He just turned 12, so so he knows,
No,
like
he's still easy. He's still easy.
Yeah, he's still at that age, and like he still like really enjoys it. And then his friends see that he gets to go to all these places, so I think he kind of realizes like.
Do they ask him, are you guys rich?
Yeah, I think that's a lot. I think that's a thing that a lot of people think, because we're out all the time. People think like, oh my gosh, you must have so much money, but it's not that. It's just that we kind of prioritize, going out and doing things, and so we could, a lot of people always bring up the Starbucks thing. I'm not a Starbucks drinker. I'm not I don't spend money on certain things. I spend it on going out. So it's not that I'm making millions. I'm not. It's just that that's the priority for our family, is having these experiences. And I feel like, because when I'm now as an adult, I remember these are the moments that I cherish the most. When I was young, when I had those experiences with my family, when we went to San Francisco or Mexicali or San Diego, like those are the things that like.
But wasn't Disneyland like the biggest treat ever? Like our parents had to save all this money in order to take the whole family.
Yes.
And it was like, oh my God, I'm at Disneyland.
Yes.
I couldn't sleep for 2 days.
Yes. Like my kids, like they'll never get it because we have passes, so we're there all the time.
Yes.
And my husband and I, whenever they start complaining, we're like, "You don't understand.
Oh
we used to like I would never
Right?
even dream of asking for something at Disneyland, like a hat or even a food, because we'd be like with our huevo con weenie, and our tacos.
Yeah,
the torta on the foil.
There's no way we're eating at like Jolly Holiday or anything, there.
We would go to the car. My dad would gather everybody. We would go to the car, open the trunk. We had a nice chest, and we were sitting there eating burritos.
There you go.
Chorizo and egg burritos. But they taste good. And I always would go by the by all the treats or whatever, and wish that at least I could get a treat or something. Never. Or I could get a Mickey Mouse hat. The day I got it with my name on it. Oh my God.
Oh man.
You were rich then.
I feel like
because I didn't have that.
I feel like when I turned 21, I had my first beer in turkey leg. It was the first time I got to buy a turkey leg.
Yeah,
from
there
Disneyland,
you
right?
go.
Yeah. It's tough, but I will tell you, I hate to say it, I'm one of the few that does not enjoy Disneyland anymore. So my family grew up in Anaheim, and so they all worked at Disneyland. So we were getting those 3 people in free all the time. So spent a lot of time at Disneyland, and just as I got older, I kind of wore myself out of it.
Yeah.
But my kids absolutely love it. But now it's no longer a $100, $80 trip. It's for 4 of us was like $850, and I was like, that's like a round trip to Hawaii for us right now. Like,
I know it is difficult, and that's why we got the passes, because we feel like, okay, then if we're going often, and because I'm an influencer, like I take my, hey, you want to give me this dress? I'm going to Disneyland, and I take my pictures there. Not always. A lot of it gets sent to me. Some of them I do. Oh, wow. So it kind of just depends. Like I try not to actually get too many partnerships that I don't already wear or I don't already like, because I don't want to feel like a commercial. I want to feel like this is my life, and okay, they gave me this dress, but I would wear this dress if they wasn't given to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
how do your kids take to being on Instagram? Do they feel the fame? Do they understand that?
So my oldest one, yes, my oldest one loves it, and he's like, "Can I be on?" Because you saw that like one of like my YouTube, because I even have a YouTube, but I have like 100 subscribers out. It's so for me, it's so difficult for you because it's so much editing. It takes so long that I find it to be like draining. But but my son, like I put up a YouTube video, and like in a day got like a few hundred views, and I guess his friends saw it, and so then that added to, he's like, can I be on your next YouTube video? So he likes it. He likes the attention. He's like me. He's like a social person. He likes the energy. Like awesome. So he enjoys it. So my little one's like whatever.
Your breakfast is ready. I'll talk to my agent. He's it's not on the calendar.
Yeah. Right? Oh, like we recently did the commercial for the plaza. And he loved it. He's like, I really want to do this when I get older. He's been talking about acting, and he likes dancing and singing, just like me. I was in drama in high school, so I really like that energy. I love to be able to entertain people. I love it, and so he's very similar to me.
That's so cool. That's so cool. I mean, you definitely have that energy on your post, and I was almost thinking, does she have a contract with Disney? Because I mean, you're like everything, even like the treats. I mean, the pictures, they're fabulous. They're everything that you showcase is so nice. The lighting, I mean, everything just looks so lit up. It looks like a candy, your Instagram.
Well, I do Disney. I'm on like some of their lists, so they do send me over like movies so that I can review and I can write on my blog.
I was a winner. I won a movie on an Instagram game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So sometimes they give me.
I think
movies
she picked me
out
on purpose because she knew me.
You can't tell.
So how do you do you have people reach you? Do you like what are people telling you out there, right? The followers that you do have, you know, what are their responses to what you're doing with your family? Because honestly, when I look at your Instagram, it really motivates. You know, I think I'm a good dad, right? But it motivates me to be a better dad.
You think you are?
Well, I don't. You're winging it, right? You're always winging it as a parent. You're always trying to figure it out daily.
Yeah,
so,
there's no guide.
Right? There's no guide for it, right? Hey, JR's going to edit a book, How to Raise Kids, right? There is a guide. So I would just assume a lot of your followers are inspired by the way you are with your family, right? So do you get a lot of feedback with that?
I do, and I honestly, to be honest, that's like for me the most rewarding part of it, because I feel like, so especially like, you know, I do have guys that follow me or dads, but I have a lot of moms that follow me, and they're like, oh my gosh, I was in bed, and when I woke up, I saw that you already went to like 3 places, and then like I'm like, okay, I need to get up and I need to go take my kids somewhere. So like, you know, and this is the thing though too, you got to remember that Instagram is not always real. Sometimes I go to like 3 places in one day, and then the next day I don't do anything I'll just like spread my posts out because you know, the reality is I can't be every single day like everywhere.
So when you told me you went to school, I was like, when does she incorporate that?
I don't often post places because I also have to try to be safe. So I don't often post places where I'm at often. Because or like where that it's accessible to people, because I always try to be as safe as I can. I don't want to put my family I don't want to put my family in any kind of danger or harm's way, because you got to be real. Like whenever you're putting something on social media, people can get the wrong idea or even think like she's showing off or she's this and you never know, you know, who's out there. So I try to do my best to, when I leave, I'll start posting. So I hardly ever am somewhere live unless it's like, that's why I think I love Disneyland so much, because it makes me feel safe. You know, there's like
a lot of people around.
It takes a wait. It's a while for you to get in there. You're not gonna just any person can't just go in. You're gonna be like searched for with the dog. You're gonna have like the metal detectors. It's like and also because I feel like there's so much inclusivity at Disneyland. Like you're able to see people like of all walks of life, whether it be people that are disabled, people that are, you know, in the LGBTQ community, and I feel like it's all embraced. And me, that I love, I call myself like this. I'm like a big child. Like I'll be wearing like a princess. I'll be wearing like a tiara and a tutu, and people aren't gonna be like, that girl's crazy. They're gonna be like, I love it, and I'm like, thank you. You know,
it's so cute. I think it's adorable. I love it. And I know I have to ask you this, but recently you received a recognition from the city of West Covina. What was that like?
Honestly, I felt so honored, because I feel like sometimes I'm just so focused on what I'm doing that I forget that, you know, other people are watching, and it just feels like such a rewarding experience. Like I don't expect it, I guess is what I'm saying. Like I'm just trying to live my life, and I'm sharing as much as I can, trying to be positive and trying to, like, you know, kind of like you said, inspire. And then so when I get that recognition, it's just like the icing, you know, to it.
So what was that for exactly?
So it was so what happened was I filmed a it's called Localish, the show. It's through ABC 7, and they reached out to me and they're like, look, we're gonna try this new thing where we want like a local person to showcase their community, and since like you already do that on your Instagram, we think you'd be perfect. So would you be interested in doing it? I'm like, of course. And so you know, ABC 7 came out. They sent like a full camera crew, and they're like, tell us your top places where you want to go eat, where you want to do this, where you want to do that. So I send them like 2 of each, and they're like, okay, we're gonna pick this. So we went to Portos. We went to the park.
I saw it.
Yes, with the big airplane. We've been going there forever. So I try to pick places that were special to us, and also like new places. Like, it was too funny because they told me something like, pick your favorite haunt, and I didn't understand that meant like something that you do often. I thought haunt, like scary.
I didn't understand. I said it either till right now.
So I was like, haunt. I was like, so like something scary. I don't know what. So I started Googling like what's scary in West Covina, you know. And I was like, and I told him, sorry, I couldn't come up with anything haunted. Like I found this axe throwing place, and then I was like, and then for some reason maybe I Googled haunt, and I think it said something that you do often. I was like, oh my god, how embarrassing.
I would have sent it in my abuela's house. That's what I would have sent it.
So I was like, and by the way, I just realized you meant haunt. By haunt, you meant this, but and they're like, no, it was perfect. The axe thing was perfect.
Yeah.
So
no, you're just like me. I do that too.
So, you know, I try to be real, honestly. Yeah. Like, I feel like there's, like, you know, when you ask me if there's anything that we shouldn't ask, I try to be as, like, open and honest. And I think that that's the best way, because people
can you tell us what's your favorite restaurant in West Covina?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. I think it's hard to pick one. I did show one there. Yeah. Okay, so favorite, I have to say, okay, the one we go to the most is Red Robin here.
Okay.
Because my kids love it. It's like refill everything. Like they
Yeah.
get mac and cheese and it gets refilled.
Red Robin, you are getting a free commercial.
They
I switch. People always criticize me because it's known for their burgers
Yeah.
and I get like a chicken wrap. They're like, what are you doing? But it's so good.
Can we rewind? They refill mac and cheese at Red Robin?
Yes.
Are you-
It's
are you
unlimited.
serious?
It's unlimited refills for kids. For
fries,
kids. For
and
kids though.
fries,
For
and
it's the
fries.
kids meal. They refill and fries. I'm sorry, fries.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna need that thing that guy collects for the shoes. I'm gonna be all swollen
Right?
after I leave there with all the mac and cheese. Watch.
Oh, to put on
yeah,
your
yeah,
pants.
yeah.
Oh, your feet are gonna be all
Yeah,
sweaty
yeah.
because of the salt.
Wow, unlimited mac and cheese.
Yeah, so that's where we're at, like very, very often.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of little places I like. Like one of the places that we went to on Localish was Mr. Pollo. I don't know if
Oh
Mr.
man,
Pollo.
Mr. Boyle.
so
I get
it's
that.
Peruvian food.
Yo.
So I'm Mexican, but this.
Yeah.
So I was new to the Peruvian food game.
Is that the one on?
I will
on
go
Azusa?
become a
Yes.
Peruvian citizen for that food.
No,
That,
Right?
oh
that
my
food is
Right?
good. That food is
have
good.
you had? But the lines there
The
sometimes.
lines are crazy. Okay,
insane.
so my father-in-law, my late father-in-law, put us up onto this, food, and he would be like, and he's like, okay, we gotta go, but we gotta order like an hour ahead of time
Oh,
because
yeah.
it takes like an hour. I was like, what? Like, what the heck? But it's worth it. The
Yeah.
wait is worth it. So for me, what I like there is the lomo saltado.
Hey, Lomo, that's my favorite.
Oh my gosh! So
Yeah.
you have to try it if you haven't tried it. So
I have tried it, and I'll
Okay.
tell you what scared me and where I messed up. So they
What?
have this green stuff.
chimichurri.
No, the really green that I thought it was avocado.
Oh, I make that mistake often.
Oh.
Even with in Asian food, I always think it's avocado and like
Yeah.
that spicy green.
And
I
it was-
ate a
it
whole
was
chunk of
probably-
wasabi thinking it was avocado.
No, seriously,
Avocados be making
Almost
us
had a
do
heart
all
attack at a sushi restaurant.
that stuff was
Same.
so hot. It was.
No, she was talking about
one
here.
from the one from the chicken place. It
I
was
haven't
Yeah.
had
so
it.
hot, and the lady said, "What did you do? I couldn't drink enough water.
Oh,
It was so
no.
hot, just like the wasabi. I've done the same thing, but that's what I thought it was. So I just pour it, and I started. Oh,
I didn't know what it was. It was salsa, Monica. It was in a cup. It was right in the salsa bar.
yeah,
Caliente.
Yeah. Caution. Hot.
Yes,
It's right next to the water fountain for a reason.
everything for me has to come with instructions. Otherwise,
Same.
forget it,
Same,
forget
same.
it, forget it.
That's
That's just the way it is.
So yeah, I was really inspired by your Instagram, and what also makes me really happy for you is how you and I feel like you and your husband are really close, right? And I think a lot of this brings you guys together. I see it's always with the kids. Is there any alone time with you guys? Ever go on date nights? And
There is, but
is that a separate page we don't know about?
after hours.
Yeah. When the kids go to sleep, no, it's all clubs.
There is. I think the thing about my husband and I is we both really enjoy being with the kids.
Oh, so you're not
And
like
so-
me and my wife.
But we do.
No, I'm just kidding.
So you don't
We look
hit
for
any of the bars,
babysitters.
any of the local
No,
bars?
No. We do. I think it's like because we struggle. I think
Yeah.
we both have like I don't know what you want to call it, but we feel guilty. One, leaving them, of course, but two, making other people watch them.
Yeah.
I don't like feeling like it's somebody else's burden or responsibility. So I have a hard time asking like my parents or anyone really.
No,
like
but
my
you're
family
not doing
members.
it all the time. If you're doing
I
it every
know,
Friday,
I know.
And Saturday, I can,
I know.
yeah.
I do. I
Listen.
just feel that guilt, and
Yeah.
I think we both have that. So
Yeah.
that's what makes it difficult. And I think for us to feel comfortable, it has to be like a very hey, leave the kids here and you go out. And
Yeah,
then we'll be
yeah.
like, okay, which happens in Vegas for us because my mother-in-law lives there. So whenever we
Lucky.
go over, my mother-in-law's like, go, and we'll go get massages.
Yeah.
We'll go and do, whatever. We'll go to the casino really quick or go
Yeah.
get a drink. So it doesn't happen too often because it's mostly when we're in
Yeah.
Vegas. We do leave them here and there. Actually, when we go to Disneyland, often it's when they're in school, and my husband has some time in the morning, and my husband and I
nice.
will take Disney dates, and we'll just go. Yeah, we're not. It's like we don't have to please the kids and do what they want. We'll just go and I love
Yeah.
people watching because like I said, I love fashion
Yeah.
and I love watching everyone walk by. So we'll just sit there, we'll eat, we'll listen to mariachi. I mean, for me, I love Disneyland. So anything we do there, it's just it's a great time. So
Yeah, my friends, the Mariachi Divas, they actually have a contract
Love
with
them.
Disney, yes. And so whenever they're performing, at the Disney Walk, it's just so nice to go, to go and see them and just enjoy the show. Just,
Yeah.
and inside Disneyland, I always want a churro. So I break my diet whenever I go there. I like the churros because they're so good. Am I not right?
They're
it's probably
so
the
good.
best thing I've ever had.
It's
And
really
the
good.
corn dogs. I don't know what it is about those corn
corn
dogs.
dogs.
but
That
they're
I will agree
delicious,
with. The corn
right?
dogs
I love
are
the
amazing.
corn
The
dog.
corn dogs are so good, and so
I think also it just feels good to feel like represented inside somewhere like Disneyland. Like for me to be eating a churro, listening to the mariachi divas,
right?
In the Plaza de la Familia, it's like, to me, it feels like this is like so beautiful because I think that's one thing that we lack, that, you know, we don't see enough of us being represented everywhere. So when I'm in somewhere like Disneyland and, you know, our culture is being celebrated, like, honestly, look, it gives me the goosebumps. That's like, for me, that's so meaningful. And for me, that's another thing that, you know, you asked about my Instagram about, you know, inspiring people. I think that's one thing that I really feel proud of, because I have followers that are, you know, white, black, Asian, whatever, and they get to see that I'm yes, I'm Mexican, and I display that proudly, but I'm also American. And I think sometimes people, you know, they it's hard for them to see us because on movies we're so like and this and that, like Mexican. It's like, no, we don't have to always be that way. You know, we
that's a new one, because I don't know. Like, okay.
Yeah, like they feel like, you know, sometimes they want to stereotype how you are, or what you should be like, or what you should talk like, and so
Katrina,
they see
can you
you.
pass me my hat, my Mexican hat that's over there, my mariachi hat, please? I was gonna wear it.
No.
We're over here talking about how they look at us. So can you pass me my Mexican hat? She's
like I said, I'm proud, and like
of course.
I actually, for Mexican Independence Day, I wore to Disneyland. I went in like my my dress, you know, my Mexican dress with my Disney ears that had Mexico on it, and I had a bunch of looks that weren't always as welcoming, you know. So
are you serious?
Yeah,
that is weird.
So like I said, for me it's like an important part of what I'm doing, to show that representation and to show people that yes, I could be the I girl, but then I can also be American.
So you know, when my girlfriend and I ran the LA Marathon, there was a lot of people with, you know, with their flags, you know, just like, you know, you've seen that, right, Katrina? And then there was this one couple who had the Mexican flags, and they lent it to me. They're like, take it and run with it. And so I had it behind me. No, it was just, you know, it was just a flag or whatever. And then I was running, and then right in front of me passes these guys who were professional runners, barefoot, Indian, running with the little bells, and
sounds like my backyard and my kids running around.
No, the Virgen de Guadalupe displayed on their back, and people, and some people were throwing things at them, and I thought to myself, how disrespectful is that?
Oh my goodness!
You know, how disrespectful is that? And I just thought to myself, you know what? I almost told those people, can I run with your flag? But you know, I didn't, because I just, for that just specific moment, I felt really proud to be Mexican, and I really wanted to defend, you know, our heritage, which you know, and I just thought that you should be proud of these people and what they're doing. You know,
that's a great point, and that brings me to a question. I was actually thinking about it before she brought that up, so it kind of aligns. You know, you obviously are in touch with your, you know, your culture and where you come from. And your kids being so noticed on social media, have you tapped into that side with them, and are they ingrained? And if so, what's their feeling about it, and how is that displayed on social? Or what are they doing to kind of get themselves in touch with their culture?
I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's, like I said, a really important thing for me. I grew up, so I was born here. My parents immigrated from Mexico, but I didn't always feel proud of being Mexican. I grew up trying to like assimilate and trying to show that I'm super American, and you know, I would turn down my music when I was playing Selena in my car, because I didn't want people to think I was like this chunti girl or whatever. And
oh my God, you know that word chunti?
Yes, that's what we were called, you know, when you were like too Mexican or you listen to banda, which banda's not my favorite music, but I love romanticas, I love mariachi, and
do you like Luis Miguel?
Luis Miguel,
oh my God,
girl.
See, this is why we needed a male co-host, guys.
But back to my point, I didn't always have this, you know, I didn't always feel this way, and a lot of it was due to, you know, the world telling me that my color wasn't beautiful, that I didn't look as beautiful because I wasn't fair-skinned, or because I didn't have blonde hair or blue eyes. You know, when someone would have a baby and they're like, oh my God, está güerito, or he's so light-skinned, yay. You know, it was like, so then that automatically means that my skin is not, you know.
Girl, I was the maid when I had my daughter, okay? My daughter was born with blue eyes, fair skin. And one day I was holding her, and they're like, oh, can you tell your your babysitter if we can hold the baby. And I was like, babysitter, I'm the mother.
Yeah. I think there's so many
Yeah.
there's so many layers to
Yeah.
this, and there's so much
Absolutely.
trauma that we have, that I think it's so important for us to really first face that and
Yeah.
acknowledge that that's a trauma of ours, and really do the work to work
To change that.
change that.
Yeah.
And like I'm like in my late 30s, like I'm telling you, and I'm finally in this place where I love myself. Like, I love the way I look. I
Yeah.
love my dark skin, and I try to show that. And like, thank you. Like, honestly, it's been a journey for me, and I think it's a combination of things. It's a combination of, you know, you get older and you see things. It's also education, and it's traveling. Those
Yeah.
are the three things that for me kind of made me come full circle. I had this trip to Cancun with my husband on our 10-year anniversary, and you know, I was in this place where I was going to school. I was doing Mexican American studies, and I was getting these lectures that I had never heard of, because my
Yeah.
parents, you know, they're from Mexico, but they would never really tell me the story of Mexico, or what it was to be Mexican, or how proud we should be to be Mexicans. So hearing these things for the first time started giving me this empowerment, and started making me kind of value who I
Yeah.
was. And then going to Cancun and seeing the pyramids,
Oh
seeing
my
these
God.
amazing things that
Yeah.
our ancestors did, I was like, you know, on cloud nine. I started seeing my worth, and I had this moment where, you know, to be honest, I started seeing like, gosh, like we've suffered so many oppression at the hand of, you know, Europeans or
Yeah.
whatever, and I started, you know, having feelings towards that. But when I went to this, they have this music show at the end of the night in this place called Xcaret. It's like a beautiful like theme park, I guess, if you want to call it that. And they have the history of Mexico through dance and song. And so it kind of shows like from the beginning. It shows from like the time of like the Mayans, and then it kind of keeps on developing and goes through the time of history with dance, which I love dance and I love singing. So it was like in my language, like coming to life right before me. They have you sit up with like the royalty, so you feel like you're one of them. And then it also shows when you know, we were when the Spaniards came, and then it shows how as Spaniards, and you know, and how it mixed the cultures, and that's who we are now.
Yeah.
So it kind of brought me to this like place of realization, like I can't defy that I also have this European.
Of course you do.
Yeah, and I guess I was like, Mexico, and I was like, you know, these Europeans are so bad, but that's also part of my story. So it brought me to tears, to be honest. I was like crying so bad, because it was this moment where it kind of hit me. And ever since then, I've just, you know, I keep going to try to further educate, and also to my children, because one of my kids is like me. He has the dark skin, and I tell him, you know, you have been kissed by the sun. I try to tell him like all these positive things, so that he doesn't grow up the way I did, where you feel like it's a bad thing to be like a tan skin.
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm like, people are going to tanning beds to get tan, and I have it already.
It's crazy. It's not
Yeah.
in like the Latino community,
Yeah.
but it's in the Asian
It's everywhere.
community. It's everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's colorism.
If I step out into the sun for more than 10 minutes, I get like 5 shades darker. That's just how it is for me.
Yeah,
It's-
but I think, but I
Yeah.
think that goes. I think this conversation. I think every culture faces their own, their
Like she
own,
said.
you know, criticism and you know, whatever else we want to call it. But you know, I'm like you. You know, I grew up very dark. Actually, as a young girl, I was darker than this, and I was always ashamed. So I always told myself when I was going to school, I'm going to marry somebody, and my name's going to be Monica Miller. And my dad would always say, Miller, why Miller? Because it was a white last name. And so I wanted to feel like I was going to be important when I grew up.
Yeah.
I just had a big imagination. I
Yeah.
just shared something, like a whole bunch of stuff about myself. But, you know, but seriously, but once, you know, and my dad told me one day, he's like, Google our last name, which is, my dad's last name is Villal Vaso. And then I told my dad, why do we have that last name? Oh my God, in school I was Villavoso, Villalavazo, Villalobos. And I'm like, why can't she say my name? And my name, Monica, has, I don't know, what would you call that on the O?
An
Oh,
asterisk?
Yes.
No,
No.
the accent. That's
Yeah, the accent,
Accent,
because
yeah.
you know, because of the vowels, how you say that. So it was Monica.
Yeah,
Right?
Monica.
Not Monica. And so there was 2 Monicas in my classroom. One of them was white, and I was the brown one. And my teacher was white, and she would always say, Monica, you know, like it was like music. And I was like,
I'm going to start
I would
calling you
jump off my
Monica from now on, too.
I would jump off my seat and then be like,
Monica.
Mexican accent. So yes, you called me.
See?
oh, I just hate myself. yeah, so that was me. But my last name was even worse. So my dad said, don't worry about it. Your name is, in English, is Village Glass. So then when they would ask me, I said, my last name is Village Glass, but it's Villalbazo. Is that what it means? Oh, like village.
Yeah.
And then glass, you know? And I was like, but that was a joke. Because my dad just wanted me to feel better about, you know, my last name being so difficult to write and people to understand what it meant. But once we researched the last name, yes, you're talking, it was like, wow, is that where it comes from? I was
history.
like, I became very proud of my
Exactly.
of my maiden name, and just having conversations and asking those questions and thinking. And now I couldn't be more proud to be a Latina, you know. And you know, I no longer get called, you know, oh, that dark girl, or you know, hey, my name is Monica Farias, by the way. Sometimes I say Farias.
I
it's
still have
easier.
that too, because I, like, you know, when I walked in, I said, hi, my name is Lorena, right?
Yeah.
But it's just sometimes I'm programmed. Like, I would say, you know, all my life growing up, I was Lorena. So the only people that call me Lorena are my mom and my dad. Like at home, even my brother and sisters still call me Lorena, because that's what, you know, when you go to school, that's the way it's the easiest for people to pronounce. And then even starting when you work, then people, some people would try to say it in Spanish, so they'll be like, you know, they'll just start calling me all kinds of other
your
names. Yeah, so
name.
it's just, I even changed it to Lo, just so that there would be no issues. Also because I work sales, so it's like it's easier to remember, you know. But then once I started seeing like the power in your name and feeling confident in the way my name is, and like I said, and now like I find the beauty in it. So now I'm like proud. I'm like, I'm Lorena, and you know, I feel like, you know, people are like, oh, I think because it's like whatever you make of it, you know what I mean? Like my hair is super curly, right? I spent years straightening it, which I couldn't even do it because I just got up and ran over here. But I spent years straightening it, and now that I'm leaving it curly, and I like, I guess, own it, and people like have now been like, oh my God, I love your hair. But I think it's because of the confidence that I show with it. It's not necessarily my hair. I think my hair could look however it could look, but because I own it and I feel so proud of it, I think people recognize that.
Do you think social media helped you with that?
It did. And I think this is another thing that's important about social media. I follow people that can make me feel good about what I have, and what, like, so I follow a bunch of curly girls. I follow a bunch of girls that have dark skin, and so that could, for me, can make me feel beautiful, instead of the you know what society is telling you is beautiful, the skinny, tall, 6 foot, long leg models. Yes, and
that
I think
is
it is
definitely changing.
Yes,
I follow Shape, the magazine Shape, on Instagram, and I've seen pictures of women with stretch marks, and something that I never seen, even Victoria's Secret, we were just talking about that, where it's changing. I was.
Don't throw them under the bus.
We walked by there today, and you know, where people used to go in there and you didn't know if you fit into that, because you're watching these videos of the skinny people, and you're thinking, okay, because the average woman that's a mother has the stretch marks. We have, you know, all the imperfections, but it's okay to love ourselves that way.
The average woman, I have stretch marks.
What
do you mean?
Right?
You know.
No. I call it, it's the V of stretch marks. I call it MapQuest. It looks like a map. I'm just kidding. Do you think? I wanted to piggyback off that question I asked you. Do you think putting your kids out there and getting them excited to be on camera is allowing them to be comfortable in their skin, and kind of blocking what we had to go through, and just saying, hey, you are who you are? You know, people love you for it. Do you think that has a big impact on them and their self-confidence?
I think it does, but I think it also has to come from you. I think the biggest thing you can do, because I can say, but it's what I do. And I think that's it. You can say, don't do this, but then you're doing it. So then they're gonna take what you do. So I think the biggest thing is that my kids see that I'm proud of who I am. I love who I am. I love how I look. And also, and then I tell him not to base it on looks. It's also what's on the inside. You know, it's what you're doing. I'm always like, Aiden, you know, when no one's looking, if you're gonna do the right thing, that's when you know that you're a good person. Like, don't do it because you're gonna get in trouble. Don't do it because you're gonna get caught, or or because you want, because we're a faith, I'm like, don't do it for Diosito, do it for yourself.
Diosito, how
Yeah,
cute.
I'm like, do it for yourself because you want to be a good person. At the end of the day, I feel like that, that's the most important thing. I want to make sure that they're great, that they're good people, and that they're doing kind things. And I see it. Luckily, of course, they're still kids and they make mistakes, but I think that's our job to guide them. And what better way to guide them than with our actions?
Oh yeah, because kids are always watching. Even our teenagers, even our kids that are married are still watching.
Yep.
And and I always remember one thing that my daughter said when she was graduating from high school. And to me, it was probably the proudest moment of my whole life. When all the teenage kids were standing there and they all had to say something, because Bishop Vermont, they go through to this retreat, right? And everybody's there. They had both their parents. She only had me there and her grandmother. And then, they all get up and they said, I'm just thankful for my stuff and for my mom and for my car. Okay. And so a lot of them just kind of said materialistic stuff that they're thankful for. And my daughter gets up there. She's like the 20th, senior. And she says, I'm just proud to, for my mommy. And she says, because that's what I call her, my mommy. She says, and I'm so proud because I could call my mommy my hero.
Oh, sweet.
And so I was like, and everybody, all the parents were like, oh my God, oh my God. And I was just like,
That's a reflection on
she's
you,
like, don't call me hero. I'm Miss Miller, okay?
and it was just like,
This is Miller, yeah.
it was like
That's
one
a
of those
reflection on you,
moments that,
yeah.
you're just like,
Yeah.
wow, where did
That's
that
awesome.
come from?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's so good.
And so I think we live for those moments,
For sure.
when our kids could actually say they're proud of
Yeah.
their parents.
Yeah.
So, wow, I'm already proud of you just knowing
you.
what you just said. Oh
Thank
my God.
you. Well, that was
You know?
another moment when I was recognized at the West Covina at the city council meeting. I thought it was so awesome that my littlest one at
Yeah.
the time, he was 7, I think, or 8. He told me. Because he saw that the mayor was a woman, right? So first of all, he told me, "Mama, I'm proud of you," because he saw that I got a certificate, and he knows that whenever he gets a certificate, he goes to we get him a prize, we give him money. So he's like, "Mama, I'm proud of you." He's all, "Mama, can a man be a mayor?" And I was like, I love that question
awesome.
because
That's
that's
so
like
cute.
he's never met a mayor. So then he saw that this is a mayor and it's a woman. So I was like, this is awesome. So it was like a double positive thing for me. He's
Yeah.
proud of his mom
Of
for getting recognized,
course.
and then I was recognized by a mayor that's a woman of color, which is also a bonus. So that was such a rewarding moment for me to be able to do that in front of my kids. And sometimes, to be honest, sometimes they get annoyed because we're somewhere and they're like, I'm like, hold on, we got to take a picture, or hold on, and they're just like, oh, hurry up, or whatever. And I'm like, and so I think I try to use these moments to be like, see, like this is why I do this. I'm putting it out there so that people can see what we're doing and blah blah. And so it kind of helps them to realize, like, okay, we are doing this for a reason. It's not just
Yeah.
for a cute picture.
And you need to be patient because to a lot of parents that that have those difficult kids,
Yeah.
you just need to be patient and you need to be consistent and you need to just keep doing what you're doing. If it's the right thing, eventually it'll sink into them
Yeah.
and they'll be like, why didn't I appreciate that?
Oh, yeah.
Because you just can't change for them.
No.
Because you're the parent.
Yeah,
so
you know better.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got to
We-
stick to
yes.
your core
Exactly.
values and,
Yes.
and morals. And I
Yes.
think, and just like us, when we were younger, I'm like, oh, why did my mom make me do that? Or I always had to be the first one back home from the party.
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
got a party all late. And I'm like, I have to be home by 9:30 or 10.
But
But
think it would have shaped you to be.
Exactly,
And that's
exactly.
what I always say. I would always get mad because my friends would all drink in high
Yep.
school, and I was like, well, why can't you drink? Because I already knew my dad was waiting for me on a chair, and if I was late, oh boy, I already knew what was gonna happen. So,
Yeah.
so no, those are just, you just, and believe me, it pays off when you become an adult. You just, there's things that you want to change about how you grew up, but
of course.
but you want to make things better.
Of course,
not
and I think that's
because-
what's so great.
Yeah,
that you
and
get
the
to
education
acknowledge
is
that.
higher now.
Yeah.
We have more knowledge with social media,
Of course.
with the internet, everything. Has
And
just
therapy.
evolved.
Honestly, therapy.
know?
I've been in therapy,
Yeah.
and I think that really helped me to have a third party, even for my marriage. We've been to marriage therapy, and I think that's something that also, as in a lot of communities, that we don't talk about how or normalize it. And I think people think like, oh, you're in therapy, you must be crazy or something is
Oh, no.
wrong, or no. It's I think it's such a wonderful tool that
Yeah.
that can help you. It can help guide your life. It's great to have a professional that's not your
Absolutely.
tia or your cousin or your best friend. That's like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
girl, like no,
Yeah,
like
because then they just go tell the rest of the family your problem.
exactly. Like that's one huge thing. And then another thing is they're not a professional. They're not. They don't know what you're having the blind leading the blind.
Yeah.
Like
So
you know,
I
that's
have that at home for free because that's what my daughter is now. She's
There
a
you
marriage
go.
and marriage and family therapist,
Awesome.
and I go to her for everything. I don't share a lot of my internal problems, but
Yeah.
I tell these guys, some of my stories and how therapy helped me
Yeah.
and why I love Barbies, and they probably think that I'm nuts or whatever.
She
but
shares
you
a
know what?
lot of her internal problems.
But you know what? Therapy does help.
It does.
Helps.
It really does.
It helps to talk to a stranger.
It
And,
does.
Yeah.
So for all the money that you want to spend on your kids for Christmas, dude, therapy.
Are we mingling podcasts here? No. So I've always I couldn't agree more. I'm a big advocate for that. I've always said that the
Good.
most dangerous thing is a smiling face because you never know what's going on behind that
Really?
smile.
Exactly.
And I think it hits home for our community too because we've been taught to just deal with it
Yeah.
and move
Sweep it under
forward.
the rug.
Especially as
Yeah.
men,
Yeah.
as men, it's like, are you a girl? Don't be crying. Or not a girl, or not. Like I think
Yeah.
that's a really big,
Yeah.
the fault that we have in our
Yeah.
culture. That's like you can't cry if you're a man, or you better suck it up, or
Yeah, I cry all the time.
No, that's
I
great.
think
Especially
to
to Selena.
To me, if you see a man crying, it's one of the most it actually is. It's humbling, and it
I think
just
it
says
shows
a
you're
lot.
emotionally mature.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
how to deal with and I'm not saying
Yeah.
not crying is emotionally immature, but I just feel like I think you're holding yourself. You don't have to hold yourself to a place where you
Yeah.
have to hide what you're feeling.
Because then it becomes worse. It makes you really like I don't know. I just think it's worse. It's just express your feelings at that moment and just let it be because it's healthy to cry. I actually, besides everything that we do here, at the Greater West Covina, I have my moments when I do cry. I just cry just for nothing, and it helps me.
I'm a
better person
crier.
after.
I'm a
Yeah,
crier.
me
I'm a crier.
Do you cry?
If I'm being really honest, can we edit this out? I cry more for like movies. Like
Oh, yeah, movies
or
make me
like
cry.
the Instagram posts that are just I sit there tearing up. They're like, "What's going on?" I start yawning. Yeah. But you know what?
Yeah.
You know what gets you out of that funk is great chocolate, especially chocolate brought to you by Rocky Mountain Chocolate
my
Factory.
Love it.
As a
Right?
matter of fact,
As a matter of fact, you want to stop crying? Have some strawberries,
I was
chocolate
about
covered.
to cry, but now that you
Yeah.
mentioned that, my tears
Yeah,
stopped.
now it's happy time. This is, thanks to our friends from Rocky Mountain Chocolate. She wanted to make sure that this moment was a happy moment, that we ended, on a happy note.
I
So,
love
Yeah.
it.
what's the best way? But to have you, and introduce
Indulge.
these beautiful, wonderful strawberries.
I love Rocky
chocolate
Mountain
covered
Chocolate Factory.
strawberries.
Wait, you're not allergic to strawberries, right?
I've been
No.
Okay.
nibbling on
Why?
this. I've been
No,
laughing
you know what? My
on
mom
it.
is, and I didn't know. I was over here. You want some strawberry
Really?
cake? She's like, you're trying to kill me right now. I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
No,
So.
but I've been nibbling on this pretzel.
Ooh, that looks delicious
that has
too.
like pecans and and it's just so delicious. It makes me hyper. But hey,
Katrina found out
know?
she's allergic to every single food
So
in the
she
pyramid, like
can't
every single part of
enjoy
it, everything.
this.
Wait, how did you find this out?
I had to take the
Yeah,
Okay.
dairy.
air and water is
no.
her diet now. That's all she can have is air and water.
I'm sorry. Well, then I'll enjoy.
So while we
this
enjoy our
strawberry.
chocolate-covered strawberries,
So JR, there's
Okay,
4 here.
I'm
so
taking
one's
this
for you.
one.
Can we have a napkin?
gonna move this out of the way if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
I'll
Thank
get
you
back
so
to
much.
you.
Thank you.
And do you want to take some shots of this?
Which one do you want, Monica?
Can I have a
No,
napkin? I'm
gonna
already
have-
dripping.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh wait,
The host.
I'm actually gonna be trying.
I'm gonna be trying
Dun
this.
dun dun.
That looks amazing.
I'm gonna bite it so nobody else can have any because I want to eat this whole thing.
I told you.
We don't have like a knife, right?
No, no
Just
knife
bite
yet.
it. Just
Alright,
bite it.
alright.
Just do it.
Alright,
Just do
let's
it.
do
Just bite it. Rach, if you're watching.
No, let him bite
More
it.
embarrassing than
Bite it.
eating something on camera.
Good thing you don't have
I
to
know.
eat
Now I'm
it,
like,
so
do I have
just
chocolate on my
bite it.
teeth?
Do it slow motion.
Oh my god. What does that taste like?
The slow mo effect.
What was that like?
Delicious. I love chocolate
Wow.
chocolate covered strawberries. They're my favorite.
Don't choke on us. And with that said, we're about to end the segment, but I couldn't say thank you enough by, making you a special little gift.
Thank
Hope
you.
you enjoy it.
Thanks for having me. I had lots
It's
of
just
fun.
for you. No,
Yeah.
oh my God, we want you to bring some more of these experiences.
Yeah,
And
of
whenever you do
course.
something really like really cool,
Yeah.
just, DM me or call me. You have my number now.
Mm-hmm.
And just let me know. Come on and, share it with us
Yeah.
and let us know. Actually, when you were filming the video here at the
Mm-hmm.
mall, they told us they were filming a Taco Bell commercial.
What?
Yeah.
Who said that?
some of the security people.
Oh, that's what
and
happens. That's how rumors get started.
Yeah.
You know, it
I'm
goes
like,
from like one
Taco
person to another.
Bell. And then I see your
She probably
your
ordered Taco
video.
Bell. Like,
Right?
"This is Taco Bell." Yeah, maybe a Taco Bell order.
Something.
We're, like,
I
ready to
mentioned
go
the
eat
taco.
Taco Bell.
But I'd like to say it with all the caramel in my teeth right now. You know, it was a true pleasure doing this interview with you. I've
Thank
learned a lot about
you.
you, and the one thing I will say is we need more people like you on social
Yes, we
media.
do.
Oh, thank you.
One for our culture.
Thank
Two,
you.
because we need kids are on social media now more than ever.
Yeah.
And we need more people like you who's promoting family, who's promoting culture, for them to be able to
Yes.
come and follow these pages. And I wouldn't call you an influencer. I'd honestly call you a trailblazer.
Oh,
Really, because
thank
you're creating a
you.
lane and a path that's amazing. And I'm really, as a father, I really appreciate
Oh,
it.
you're
so.
giving me the goosebumps,
Yeah.
and I'm a crier, so you're
Yeah.
gonna make me cry.
So
now.
you can write that $20 check out to the. No, but in all honesty, like I really appreciate what you're doing. We need more people
Thank
like you on
you.
social media. It's
Thank
just
you.
positive vibes all around.
Yes,
Thank you so
yes.
much.
You make me want to go to Disneyland.
Yay!
Yeah, invite
a
us to
convert,
Disneyland.
a convert. We have a convert. I love Disneyland.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we do. So with that, everybody, thank you so much for listening to our segment. We're really happy to have had Lorena
Thank you for
Alvarez.
having me.
Follow her. She's on Lorena's Adventures. On
Alvarez Adventures.
Alvarez Adventures on Instagram. I always tend to make mistakes whenever I.
thank you for having me.
And don't
though.
forget to stop by the West Covina Mall to try out Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory.
Delicious.
Yeah, everything was so delicious. So thank you, everybody, and good night.
Thanks for having me.